Look, nobody actually enjoys spending their Saturday sweating behind a lawnmower. I've spent the last few months turning my backyard into a testing ground for the latest tech to see if we can finally fire the landscaping crew. I bought and ran the 5 most popular models on the market to find out which ones actually work.
Product number 1. MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1000. When I first pulled the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1000 out of the box, the first thing I noticed was the build. It's a solid 30-pound machine that feels like it could handle a few bumps. But the real wow moment came during setup. Most of these robots make you bury miles of wire, but this one uses 3D LiDAC. I just walked it around with my phone, and it mapped my entire quarter acre in minutes. It felt like I was playing a video game rather than doing yard work. In my testing, the zero-edge cutting actually lived up to the hype. I watched it crawl right up against my brick flower beds, getting within 2 inches of the wall. I didn't have to go back with my string trimmer at all, which is usually the part I hate most. The AI vision is also incredibly smart. I purposely left a couple of my dog's chew toys and a stray garden hose in its path, and it danced around them without breaking a sweat. It didn't get stuck once, even on the steeper 45% slope at the back of my property. The app lets me adjust the height from about 1 inch up to nearly 4 inches, so I could keep the front yard short and the back a bit more lush. If you have a complex yard with lots of obstacles and hate the idea of digging trenches for wires, this is the one you want.
Product number 2. ECOVACS GOAT O1000. The ECOVACS GOAT O1000 has a much sleeker, high-tech look compared to the MOVA. It's a bit heavier at 44 pounds, and it feels like a premium piece of German engineering. Setting it up was another wire-free experience. It uses these little beacons you place around the yard, and once it knows where it is, the mapping is incredibly precise. What really stood out during my week of testing was how it handled tight spaces. I have a narrow side path that's barely 2.5 feet wide, and most robots just give up or bounce around like a pinball. The GOAT navigated it like a pro. The obstacle avoidance is also top tier. It uses 3D vision to spot things as small as a hedgehog, or, in my case, a rogue garden shoe I forgot outside. The True Edge feature kept my borders looking sharp, and the U-shaped mowing pattern left those satisfying stripes you see on professional golf courses. It's also IPX6 waterproof, so when a surprise afternoon shower hit, I didn't have to run out and rescue it, it just kept on going. If you have a yard with narrow passages or a lot of tight corners, the GOAT is going to be your best friend. It's efficient, quiet, and handles the technical parts of a yard better than almost anything else I tried. Product number 3. Sunseeker X7. If the other mowers are sedans, the Sunseeker X7 is a monster truck. Holding the remote and looking at those deep tread off-road tires, you can tell this thing is built for the rough stuff. My backyard has a nasty hill that's about a 35-degree incline, and every other mower I've tried eventually loses traction and slides. The X7's all-wheel drive just gripped and climbed like it was nothing. The cutting width is a massive 14 inches, which is nearly double some of the others, so it finishes a large lawn way faster. I tested this on a 0.75-acre lot, and it handled the size without needing constant recharges. My favorite feature, though, was the floating deck. My lawn isn't perfectly flat. It's got dips and bumps, and the X7's blades moved up and down with the terrain, so I didn't end up with those ugly scalped brown patches. It also has a dual-system navigation that uses both RTK and vision. One afternoon, my GPS signal got a bit spotty under some heavy tree cover, but the cameras kicked in and kept it on track perfectly. If you have a massive yard, steep hills, or just really uneven ground, the X7 is the heavy-duty workhorse you need. It's definitely the most rugged of the bunch and feels like it's built to last a decade. Product number 4. YARDCARE Robot Lawn Mower. Moving to the YARDCARE mower, this one feels much more compact and lightweight. It's a bit more traditional because it does require a boundary wire, but honestly, the setup didn't take more than an hour for my smaller testing area. It's got a clean, silver gray finish that looks modern, but doesn't scream robot too loudly. In practice, this is a great set-it-and-forget-it machine for smaller suburban lots. The brushless motor is whisper quiet. I actually ran it at 10 p.m. one night, and my neighbors didn't hear a thing. The bumper sensor is quite sensitive.
It gently tapped my patio furniture and immediately pivoted to a new path without leaving a mark. I really like the auto rain sensor too. As soon as it felt a few drops, it scurried back to its little garage to wait it out. The cutting height is a manual adjustment, which is a bit old school compared to the app-based ones, but it's simple and works every time. The 3-blade system left the grass looking like a carpet, and because it mows so frequently, the tiny clippings just disappear into the soil as fertilizer. If you're on a budget and have a standard-sized yard without too many crazy hills, this offers the best bang for your buck without all the unnecessary bells and whistles.
Product number 5, GARDENA SILENO Minimo. Finally, I spent some time with the GARDENA SILENO Minimo. It's the lightest one on the list at only 14 pounds, and you can really feel how nimble it is when you pick it up. It's made in Europe and has that classic sturdy polypropylene build that GARDENA is known for. This is specifically designed for those smaller, manicured city yards or back gardens. The Minimo name is perfect because it's incredibly quiet. I sat on my patio reading a book while it worked 3 feet away, and I barely noticed it. It uses a boundary wire system, which I found very reliable for keeping it out of my flower beds. What I loved most was the streak-free technology. Some mowers leave visible tracks over time, but the GARDENA seems to vary its path enough that the lawn just looks perfectly uniform. Even though it's small, it handled a 25% slope in my front yard without any issues. The Bluetooth app is very straightforward. It doesn't have a million confusing settings, just the stuff you actually need, like scheduling and height. It's also completely fine in the rain, which is great because I don't want to worry about it every time the clouds turn gray. If you have a smaller yard, up to about 2,700 square feet, and you want something reliable, silent, and easy to manage, the GARDENA is a fantastic choice.
That's the breakdown of the best robot mowers I've tested this year. Whether you've got a steep hill or a tiny garden, one of these will save your Saturdays. If you want to see the latest prices or grab one for yourself, check the links in the description.
Thank you for watching the video till the end. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.